In March 2020, Hollywood shut down almost overnight. Sets closed, premieres were canceled, and the theaters went dark. COVID didn't just pause movies though. They reshaped how they're made, released, and now even how we watch them. And honestly, we're still dealing with the fallout today. So from production delays, to the rise of streaming, and to the unfortunate slow death of midnight releases, let's discuss how COVID permanently changed filmmaking. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Bree, I'm an aspiring actress and filmmaker, and I just learn as I go. This is all through my own research and I like to talk about it. So if you are also a cinephile and you want to become a part of the Cinephile Club, please subscribe and introduce yourself in the comments. I would love to start to get to know you. But anyway, let's just jump right into the video. Alrighty, I'm not going to be explaining this to you like you live under a rock and you don't understand what happened, but I think it's actually important to discuss all the things that happened because of COVID, and because I feel like everything happened so quickly and there's so many different things to look at, and I actually didn't even realize half of this was going on during the pandemic at that time. So in March 2020, obviously everything shut down, and that included all major studios paused filming. Nobody knew what was going on, obviously, and literally nobody did. And I feel like art was kind of the last thing that people wanted to think about in this time of crisis. For example, Mission Impossible 7 shut down production in Italy, February of 2020. The Batman started filming in January 2020, but shut down in March and didn't resume until September, which I didn't know. And then Fast and Furious 9 was supposed to release in May 2020, but that delayed an entire year to 2021. And I'm pretty sure, wasn't Top Gun Maverick a part of that list too? But there's so many movies that were anticipated that had to be paused. And the industry lost billions in just months. And some projects never even restarted. So obviously with that, nobody's going to be going to the theaters, but we need somewhere to watch these movies, right? And that's when streaming came in. And streaming is my absolute enemy, but best friend. And let me tell you why. In April and May of 2020, audiences were stuck at home. So subscriptions for Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO Max skyrocketed. And honestly, that was a really fun time for me because I did end up watching a bunch of good movies and good shows and stuff. And I had a good time for that part because we just binged everything. And Warner Bros. Made history in December 2020, announcing its entire 2021 lineup, which would debut on HBO Max and in theaters at the same day. And that was Wonder Woman 1984, The Suicide Squad, and Matrix Resurrections. Disney released Mulan in September 2020 for a $30 premiere pass, and then that followed with Black Widow in July 2021, which also was a lot of backlash for Scarlett Johansson because she was not happy with that, and I could totally see why. I remember her actually, like, people were like mad at her, like, you're not understanding the state of the world. It's like, then just have the movie on pause. Like, that was her movie and it was kind of ruined because of streaming and COVID. And here's my thing with streaming. I think streaming is great for like older movies and for TV shows. I use streaming for TV shows mainly. Like, I have Netflix just so I can watch like How I Met Your Mother, Bridgerton, and a bunch of other, like, Stranger Things. Like, those kind of shows is what I have those for. And then if I want a movie, I will go buy it, because that's the other thing too that has been ruined with streaming services. I talk about this all the time. Streaming services has ruined movies in so many different ways, because after a movie came out, people don't even go to theaters nowadays. And the reason why they don't is they're like, oh, it'll come out in streaming soon. But like back then, if you didn't go see it in the theaters, you had to at least rent the movie or go buy the movie. And so that's the thing that's like sad to me, is like there's so much of like cinema's just like getting ruined. It's getting ruined and people aren't realizing it. And then they are, and then they're like, oh, wait a minute. I kind of miss being hyped up to go see a movie and have it be like an evening event. Me too. I still try to make it my own evening event. I go by myself at this point and it's very depressing. But yeah, everybody doesn't like to go see the movies anymore. Like, they're like, I just would rather sit comfortably at my own house and just watch it. Oh. But the thing is streaming went from a backup plan to a default, and that shift hasn't gone away. I have like a Prime account too. And what do I do that for? I do that for The Summer I Turned Pretty, Chosen. Literally any show that I watch on there. I barely use it for movies. And if it is for movies, it's like Marilyn Monroe. I've watched her movies recently on those. But even then, I own 8 of Elvis's movies. So that's the thing. And here's the thing. Streaming is convenient. But it killed the after movie gossip. Like, remember when people would leave the theater buzzing about what they just watched? Now it's like, you watch the movie, you probably fell asleep because you're sitting in your bed. And then, like, after it ends, you're like, okay. And then you pull up your phone and you're like, okay. Don't even think about it. But, like, I love talking about movies. I'm unfortunately that person that I try to, like, bring that, like, even if I'm just watching a movie at home, it'll finish. I'm like, okay, everybody, let's discuss what we just watched in a fun way. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm a very fun person when it comes to watching movies. I love being like, I love fangirling and being like, okay, what were your guys' thoughts when this and this happened? Like, that was crazy kind of a thing. Like, I watch it from, like, I don't watch it in like, now let's break down everything that's boring about it. Like, I promise I'm fun about it. I sound like I'm a very annoying person. Oh my gosh. There's so many fast cars out right now and they're really irritating me. I just went home to visit my family and I fell asleep because I've already seen this movie a lot, but we were watching Thunderbolts. It was their first time watching it, and I hadn't seen it, so I was just asleep the whole time. And it was funny because then the movie ended, and I was like, "So guys, did you like it?" And they're like, "Yeah, it was good. It was dark and like all that kind of stuff." And then like I just like to talk about it after, even if I was like asleep. I hate when people are just like, then they're like, "Okay, yeah, it was good," and then they turn it off. Like I was like, "No, like let's talk about what we liked about it. Like, would you watch it again? What about this part?" Anyway, I'm kind of just yapping at this point. And these cars. I don't know if you can hear them. I hope I go back and I don't hear them. So I look schizophrenic on camera, but this also never happens. I live on a very quiet road. Alrighty, the next thing we're going to be talking about is point 3, and that's the theaters that took a huge hit. AMC theaters shut down in March 17th, 2020, and Regal Cinemas closed the same week. I remember I worked at a movie theater. In 2023. It's just like a random. I worked at Epic Theaters. It's a Florida-based theater, I think. It's the cheapest thing. I got paid $11 an hour. It was a great job. I had a blast because I got to see movies before they came out. Like Marvel movies and stuff. It was so fun. Like a week before they'd come out. It was a blast. And the people I worked with were the biggest weirdos, but I had fun. But when I worked there, I was talking with them and stuff, and they were saying that, like, they all loved working there, and it's a great job to have. But then after, they're saying the difference between COVID, like, before COVID and then after, how it's really affected. Like, nobody cares. And it's so sad because that's why I feel like the quality of movie theater experiences is going down, is because they can only afford to hire the druggies and hippies and weird people. And if you work in a movie theater, I'm not calling you weird. There's just a vibe of people that work at movie theaters, okay? And I can say that because I used to work at one, so. But that's the thing, is like, I just wish that theaters would just bring back the goodness of it. And we're already paying the price for it. $17 for a movie is crazy. But that's why I recommend becoming an AMC Stubs member. It's like $25 a month at max, depending on your location. I used to pay for only 18, and then it had to move up to 25 because of my location. And that's any format. You get free food randomly. You have 4 free movies a week. Any format. It is so much fun, and you can cancel whenever. It's just super easy. But I really think that that's amazing. Anyway, sorry, I keep on yapping about it. I just need to get paid to advertise them because I love it so much. But Christopher Nolan's Tenet, released August 2020, was supposed to save theaters, but it underperformed, earning only $363 million worldwide. Only, right? So that's only a fraction of expectations. And I didn't even know that movie released, which goes to show how it underperformed. If you know anything about that movie, let me know in the comments. And then we have No Time to Die was delayed multiple times, originally in April 2020, then to November 2020, then to April 2021, and then back to October 2021. So the magic of packed opening weekends and midnight releases, it just basically disappeared after 2 years. But here's the other thing. I know I'm like saying you need to go to the movie theaters and go and see stuff, but then also 80% of the movies I go see with my AMC Stubs A-list thing, that's absolutely garbage. So I think the other thing is it's not so much as the consumer right now, it's the person who's creating it, whatever that's called. And I just think studios have forgot to make movies worth leaving the couch. And like Dune, I saw that the day it came out. No Way Home, saw that the day it came out. And that's the thing is like, and those ones I was begging all of my friends to go see. I'm like, you haven't seen No Way Home? Go. Kind of a thing. You haven't seen Dune? You should go see it. Because there's nothing like watching a movie in the theaters. I think movies are best viewed in the theaters. And like after they leave the theaters, I think they lose a little bit of their shine and sparkle. So that's why I think people are missing so much by not going. But yeah, you can't recreate Spielberg's magic on your couch. And sorry, but your little TV isn't cinema. Even if you have the nicest home theater, there's something about going somewhere that makes it a thing. And you make an event out of it. You actually take time to do it. Now, the next topic we're gonna be talking about is very interesting to me. It's how filmmaking changed behind the scenes. So budgets skyrocketed because of protocols, like the daily testing, production bubbles, and then extra safety teams. For example, Jurassic World Dominion, that resumed filmmaking in July 2020, and it became one of the first big productions to restart with massive safety costs. It added millions to its budget. I don't know if you guys, I'm starting to forget how 2020 was, but it was such a tedious process to do anything. Like going to Disney World, you're constantly being yelled at to social distance. You had to wear your mask over your nose in the freaking horrible Florida heat. Even on the wet rides, you weren't allowed to take it off, so like you're getting waterboarded. Even if you took it down for a family photo, they would scream at you and like threaten to kick you out. And then you had to get your temp done. You had to there's hand sanitizer stands everywhere. I know Universal, they had to stop the rides every 20 minutes or so to wipe down each seat and handle individually. It was such a long, tedious process that it was like, what is even the point anymore? And with this happening, everything when it came to making movies also became way more digital. I mean, obviously movie making is very digital as it is, when it comes to editing, but then they moved table reads to happen over Zoom, and then VFX pipelines went digital. And then obviously editors worked from home. And then films like The Host, July 2020, shot entirely on Zoom, and Lockdown, January 2021, were made inside the restrictions themselves. I'm pretty sure there was I think it was during 2020, a bunch of random celebrities, I forget who was the person that got them to do this, but they recreated The Princess Bride. If you haven't seen that yet, you need to go see it because it is absolute gold. But it's just a bunch of random people, random celebrities that you will know, just recreating this iconic movie in their backyards. I thought it was super fun. But it forced filmmakers to get scrappy, and sometimes that pressure led to really creative results, which I think that is a gem. And there's some other things that happen too, with actors not having access to be making movies, they still need to work on their online presence and maintaining their fans. So then I think, was it Florence Pugh that created her cooking show, and that has actually been a very big success. I remember watching that. I don't remember if that's exactly 2020, but that's the thing, is examples like that has forced people to become creative and do what they can, We're going to be talking about now the long-term effects, which I always get ahead of myself in my videos and just start yapping, just because it's very hard for my brain to just stick to my bullet points that I have created, just to not overshadow and just be a word vomit of a video. But I also do like to have my videos more conversational and less I'm teaching you, because I just researched this on my own. I'm not an expert at this topic, so I just wanted to talk to it with you guys. But by 2022, studios leaned heavily on safe bets. So that was sequels, reboots, superhero films, while mid-budget comedies and dramas struggled. And that's really also why I think that Hollywood has a hard time not recycling their stories, because they just don't want to risk it now. And streaming first mindset stuck around. Even in 2023, Apple and Netflix were dropping blockbuster level movies straight to their platforms. And that's the thing too, is I've seen so many good ads on TV for amazing movies, and I'm oh, I'm totally gonna go see that in theaters. And then I find out it's an Apple movie. I'm what the? Just release it to the theaters. I'm so sick of what's out in the theaters right now. I don't even know what to go see. audience habits changed and people got used to waiting for streaming instead of rushing to the theaters, which I've already talked about, so I'm not going to go back into that. And COVID just didn't delay Hollywood, it completely rewired it. If COVID didn't happen, I actually think our state of our movies would be better. Theaters wouldn't be struggling as much as they are today. Streaming services wouldn't be as popular as they are, and I really just think our society as a whole, just for going to go see movies, would be so much better. I feel like some garbage that's happened in the MCU wouldn't have happened if it weren't for COVID. I really think that, like, because I know after Black Widow happened, Scarlett Johansson was like, I'm done. Like, that was it. We're done. So, and I'm pretty sure they wanted to make other movies of her and stuff, but she was like, after this, no. We used to get classics every decade, and now we just get the 8th sequel of something that should have ended like 5 movies ago. But now we're gonna have the come to Jesus moment where it is, how do we bring cinema back? Okay, we've talked about the problem, so let's be real. What can we do to bring it back to its former glory? My big thing, support theaters. I know I sound hypocritical because like I do have a subscription to AMC, but that's making sure I'm at least going to the movies. You know, that's helping. It's just being there. And also giving my consistent $25 to them. I also try to cancel the subscription because money's tight right now, and it's a $50 charge. I think it's because like I just restarted my subscription like 2 months ago because I had a similar issue, and when the other one canceled, it didn't give me a charge. But I think since like the amount of movies I've seen since starting the membership and then the limited time I've had, it's making me keep it with a $50 upcharge if I quit. So if you're gonna commit to it, make sure you commit to it. But go see a movie on a big screen. Don't just wait for streaming. Theaters need audiences or else studios would stop giving them a chance. And then studios need to start taking risks again, which I know that this isn't really something that is gonna apply to you, my viewer, who is probably not Steven Spielberg. I think if we help to encourage pushing original stories and not just sequel and reboots, that will help a lot. And then the thing is audience, we crave fresh voices. Like, just think about Everything Everywhere All at Once. That blew up when given the chance. So even if you are an aspiring filmmaker, just because you don't have the studio and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't mean you can still make good movies. And don't, please, I hate indie movies because they're all the same. It's always like something big on mental health, which, don't get me wrong, great. But like, I need to be impressed, you know? And like, I hate watching a movie and being like, that looks cheap, you know? Just because you don't have a big budget doesn't mean your movie needs to look cheap. So, little PSA for young filmmakers. And then filmmakers getting bold. But, don't let it looking cheap affect you. You can still have a good story with it looking cheap. And good actors. And good audio. Good audio is a big thing. If I'm watching an indie movie and it has bad audio, I won't even finish it. It could have cheesy everything else, but if it's bad audio, I cannot stand it. And with that, filmmakers just need to be bold. So like, we need to encourage directors, young directors, and writers to take risks with storytelling, visuals, and casting. Like, if you're gonna create something, think like, like, if you're making an indie film, don't have your first shot be the character waking up. At all. It's cliche. And there's so much more you can do with that. And just like, be creative. Please be creative. Please. Please. Like, I love scrolling on Amazon Prime movies because like, they release the craziest things on there, because I'm pretty sure like anybody can post a movie. And there's one where it's like zombie beavers, there's Sharknado, there's like Velocipaster, all these different ones. And even though they're crazy concepts, they're good movies because they literally took absurd concepts. Like the Velocipaster one is about a pastor who literally becomes a velociraptor and kills people. That one isn't very good, but the zombie beavers one, that one looks good. Or there's like the sofa killer or something like that. It's literally a chair that kills people. Brilliant. Like, that's a good idea. You take a weird concept and actually make it something good. So, yeah. And the thing is what you need to remember is Spielberg didn't change cinema by playing it safe. He changed it by being bold and doing things that he was scared of doing, but he still did it anyway. That's the thing. We just can't accept content that's just good enough for streaming. If we show up for great cinema, I feel like studios will follow the money. But yeah, with all this said, cinema isn't dead. It's just waiting for people to care about it again. And I think studios need to stop serving us like comfort food and more serve us like meals that we'll remember. Like, I look back at so many good movies that have come out in the past 20 years, like before COVID and stuff. And that was just a different era of creativity. And like, I really think John Krasinski is a really good aspiring director and actor and writer. And I really think that with his voice and what he's been doing recently, he's off to a good start. I'm not saying I think he's gonna save cinema in any way, but I think he's a really good aspiring dude. And so as Christopher Nolan, which I know has been around for a while. And there's a couple of other actors that directors that I think are very impressive. But I really liked John Krasinski because he did A Quiet Place and then he did If. Like, those are very different genres, but they have a very good story. Like, both of those movies are very brilliant. And that's the thing, is he's just a very creative person. But yeah, that's the thing about it. COVID changed everything about film, but it doesn't have to be the end of the magic. So if studios take risks, the audience will show up, and then they'll make more money, and then we'll be able to produce more movies, and everything will be good again. And filmmakers just need to keep on pushing boundaries. And with all that, then cinema can thrive again. So what do you think? What do you think is the number one thing that can bring back movies to its golden days? Drop your take in the comment. I would love to hear it. But thank you so much for joining this episode of the Cinephile Club, and I will see you guys next time. Please remember to subscribe and like the video and comment down below. And yeah, bye!